hostile local. I had no choice but to neutralize him. There's some bad news. I've confirmed the body of an officer. He mentioned something about me carrying the same blood as them.
Welcome back, you scrubs. My name is Volantis, and today we continue our quest to kill every enemy in Resident Evil 4. This is the second episode of a two-part series, so if you haven't seen part 1, check it out first and then come back. I'll link it in the description below and in the info card at the top of the screen. But now that you're here, sit back and relax. So in part 1, we finished with chapter 3-2, landing another 62 kills. The remainder of chapter 3 is pretty straightforward. There's the cage fight with Gary's twin brother Larry, and then there's Ashley's part. But before we get to the cage room, I had to circle back around to check for enemies again. I found some more items, but no enemies, so I continued on. With the cage fight, some people think that enemies will continuously spawn as long as Larry is still alive, so I wanted to put this one to the test. I tried shooting out the lock to trick Larry into staying in the cage, but look at this! This is my worst attempt at any section of this game so far. What? I mean, did I have a stroke or something? A blind monkey could have done better than that. Larry absolutely destroyed me, so I tried again. I made sure my brain was switched to big mode this time and gave it a second try, and it went much better. This time I got Larry to stay outside the cage while I tried spawning in enemies. A few more will continue to drop in, but they do eventually stop. I don't know if killing Larry or collecting the treasure will stop spawning them sooner, but regardless, they are not infinite here. So next is Ashley's part. Well, almost. I would have probably just glossed over this part because it's Ashley, but there are some things I feel the need to explain first. First, I backtracked again to check for enemies. I walked all the way back through the sewer, through the water room, and back outside the castle to check for enemies, but again found none. I did find a yellow herb though, so I'll count this as a win. No joke, backtracking here took almost as long as the rest of the chapter. I spent 11 minutes just walking through the castle. Gotta be thorough, you know? So we get back to Ashley and gotta kill the pajama boys before we get to her part of the game. Here's a tip. If you want more kills, wait and kill the red guy last. He'll spawn a couple more castle ganados if you wait, or you can kill him first if you want to get through it quicker. Anyway, I took care of these jabronis and we get to the most exciting part of the game. There are only 2 enemies Ashley can kill. You have to throw the lanterns at them for the most efficient kills. I messed up a throw on my first attempt, but I got them both pretty easily on my second try. Now you may have just noticed me say the most efficient kills. That would imply that there's another method to kill them, right? Well, yes, but it's tedious as hell. I'll explain in a second. When you get to the puzzle, there's a pretty easy way to do it. You want to know it? Are you sure? Okay, boys and girls, here's the big secret. Just slide the piece on the left into the center and then rotate all the other pieces clockwise. Bing bang boom, puzzle solved. After you collect the serpent piece, the knights, or armaduras, will start chasing you. These cannot be killed by Ashley. Allow me to explain. The thing I said a second ago about another method of killing enemies, some of you super smarties may already know this, and by some, I mean like maybe 1% of you. The doors in this game cause damage to enemies if used correctly. You can slam them open at the right moment and stun enemies, causing a small amount of damage. Do it enough times and they can be killed. The problem with this is, it takes many door slams to kill even a basic castle ganado, but it can be done. This method, however, does not work on the knights. In this video by Dante Ravioli, he attempts to do exactly that. But even after using math to determine the expected number of door slams it would take to kill a knight, it still doesn't work. He even goes well past his expected number and still doesn't kill them.
After doing many math calculations that I won't explain here, I was pretty sure that a knight would take about 144 door kicks to kill, give or take. But just to be safe, I made sure to keep it closer to 200. One other thing I want to say is that I spent about an hour and a half door slamming the knight. I went well over the 200 door kicks and he just didn't die.
But still, the knights obviously get stunned from using a door, so it might be possible, but Dante spent an hour and a half on just one knight and there are 4 in this section. So it would take you literally all day if you wanted to kill them, if it's even possible. So for the sake of my sanity and my hard drive space, I'll pass up these 4 for my kill count. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Dante Ravioli. I wanted to do some kind of gaming related content for a long time, and his videos are mostly what inspired me to start making these gaming challenges. They're hilarious and very entertaining. So I'll link his channel and the video I referenced in the description below, so be sure to check him out. Hopefully he hasn't done this exact challenge before I finally get this uploaded. Alright, back to business. The shortest chapter in the game is taking me the longest to explain. I outran the knights and reunite with Leon. All of chapter 3 is now done with a total kill count of 496. Okay, so this is probably the longest chapter in the game already, and now I'm about to make it much longer.
That's what she said.
So I take care of the dum-dums in the lava room and we do some backtracking. By the way, the enemies that jump out of the tower in the lava room are not infinite. It may seem like it, but there are only a few. Anyway, I do a lot of backtracking here, but it was worth it. I found 4 enemies in the cage room and 3 more in the dining hall. There were none, however, anywhere else. I checked the garden and all the way back to the beginning of the castle. I found out the water room and the main hall, and by extension the sewer, are locked once you have Ashley again. Not really important, but cool bit of info I found out. This bit took even longer than the last chapter though. I even reset my save a couple times when I found nothing to cut down on time, and it still took me about 17 minutes to recheck everything. I absolutely demolished the knights and the other Dumbos, only for Ashley to get kidnapped again. God, she sucks. So I start blasting all the bug boys, run through the clock tower, completely annihilate Gary's other 2 brothers, Jerry and Terry, and it's time for the sewer boss, the Verdugo. Not gonna lie, this fight always gives me anxiety, even in a playthrough like this where my weapons are completely OP. It reminds me a lot of Dead Space with the small confined corridors and fighting an enemy that could easily decapitate you in one swing. Funnily enough, I wanted to do a Dead Space playthrough for my first gaming challenge video, but the PS3 software is butt cheese and you need a special HDMI splitter to bypass the HDCP protection on it to record the gameplay. For those of you that had no idea what just came out of my mouth, basically, PS3 no one to record. So as of the making of this video, a Dead Space challenge is next in line since I had to buy one of those splitters. But anyway, I absolutely wrecked the Verdugo and finished chapter 4-1 with 84 kills. Chapter 4-2 was pretty straightforward. The first section of the mine, the 2 giants fight, and the bug boy cave were all easy with the Chicago typewriter and the rockets. 56 kills here. Next is the second part of the mine. We deal with Chainsaw Boys 5 and 6, embarrassingly almost die in the trap room, finish the Saw series with 7 and Chainsaw 8, the Sawing, and finally we're back at the castle. 71 kills in this chapter, bringing the total to 707. Okay, final part of the castle, so you know what that means. That's right baby, the Salazar fight. But not quite yet. We still have to deal with the statue and climb the tower. Statue is pretty simple, just go back and forth and flip the switches until the platform across the water is back in place. We outrun the big boy and make our way up the tower to the boss room. As you probably expected, this fight is easy peasy lemon squeezy. I killed the first 2 spiders on the lower level like I specified was allowed at the beginning of the first video. Then it was time to take out Salazar. Alright, pop quiz. Who would win in a fight? A ginormous, tentacled, parasitic mutant, or one bomby boy? On my way out of the castle, I tried knifing a snake in a barrel, but I kept missing like a loser.
Okay.
Anyway, we're done with the castle. 761 kills in total. Moving on. Alright, you little goobs. We're finally at the last area of the game, the island. But what I'm gonna do, because it sounds like fun to me, is not tell you my running kill count until the very end. Don't worry, I'll tell you my score from each chapter and then the overall total, so relax, dog. Before we actually get to progress, we have to listen to Leon's atrocious action movie one-liners.
Perhaps you are disillusioned with overconfidence, just because you killed my small-time subordinate.
Sadler, you're small time.
Anyway, there isn't much to explain with this chapter. There are just a lot of enemies, so I clean out all the butt mud and move on. I did some backtracking after clearing out the room with the dynamite guys behind the shutter. Passing this room and then coming back will spawn 2 more enemies, but nothing in the rooms prior to that. I rescue Dum Dum for the 3rd time and end the chapter. Before we continue on, I have to have a serious one-on-one conversation with old Dum Dum. Ashley?
You know what? I'm about to say it. I don't care that you broke your elbow.
Sorry you had to see that side of me. So the Wrecking Ball room was interesting. I knew that enemies drop in from the upper level, but I wasn't sure if they were infinite. So I hopped back on the old Google machine and found a forum mentioning it. Someone said that they are not infinite, but I still wanted to test it for myself. In the process of checking, however, Pooh Brain got in my line of fire and ate a bullet with her skull. Attempt number 2 went a lot better. The butt munches kept coming, but I eventually put them all down. Next was the infamous truck part. I knew that in this section the Ganados would run off at certain points if you didn't shoot them all. so I had to be sure I shot every single one of them. Luckily, I didn't have to retry this part. Dum Dum drove us through a wall like the small-brained oaf she is, and to make up for it, gets captured again. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We're just not friends now. You know, guys, Ashley has been putting me through a lot. Getting captured 4 times and making me hoof it across all of Spain has been super depressing. You know what might pick my spirits up? If you like this video. Clicking the like button helps my channel grow, so give it a little tickle. And subscribe while you're at it. So chapter 5.3 has a fantastic start. On top of it being literally my least favorite chapter in the entire game, I epically failed to make it through the boiler room without dying. After trying again and making it through, I backtracked to check for enemies. 3 more spawned back in the boiler room, so I put a few rounds into their zombie faces. After that, I had to do the tedious QuickTime event cutscene with Krauser. No joke, I used to have so much trouble with this fight when I was younger. For some reason, my small brain could not figure out that there are only 2 different button presses for QTEs. It's either L2 and R2 or X and square. That's it. Yeah, I was not very smart at times.
Since you're here, why don't I introduce you to it? It should keep you busy.
Can't remember the name. Oh, a senior moment, perhaps.
The fight against the U3 is next. This fight scares me more than the Verdugo, even with my military-grade arsenal of super weaponry. The corridors are smaller and more restrictive, plus there is a timer you have to beat. But I overcame my fears like the testosterone-driven death machine I am, and put that giant worm back in the ground where he belongs.
It's big, scary, and pink!
So after slaying the Alaskan bullworm, I have to deal with the most tedious fight in the game, Krauser. So listen up, goobs. Get close. The best way to kill Krauser is with the knife. I know, game-breaking information. No, but seriously, the knife is your best friend in this fight. It literally does more than the Magnum, the Chicago typewriter, or the rocket launcher. The reason why I hate this fight so much is 1, because of how many stages there are, and 2, the range of the knife. The knife's range is diarrhea. Krauser literally has to be within arm's reach for it to hit. Yeah, I know, who'd have thought. Sometimes he dashes forward, sometimes he attacks between knife swings, and sometimes he'll just stand far away like a chicken and shoot you. So yeah, the knife is the most powerful tool here, but have fun avoiding damage in the process. It's so strong though, I'll show you the uncut fight.
Bit of advice, try using knives next time. Works better for close encounters.
Pretty cool, right? I know this looks like a relatively good attempt, but take a look at the stroke I had on the first try.
You suck, you jackass!
Alright, it's time for the second to last chapter. There isn't too much to say about the military base, it's basically just a straight half hour of non-stop brainless pee-pee heads and dingleberries. We rambo through the first part of the military base, annihilating every single noodle head in our path, and get to stop and rest before getting to the prison. Guys, something's wrong. Leon's acting strange. Almost like he's possessed.
You gonna bring the demons out of me? Fuck!
Brutal. Following Ada's exorcism of Leon, I big oofed the Regenerator in the prison and the rest of the military guys and rescued Dum Dum for the final time. I was about to knock some sense into her empty noggin, but Sadler shows up to ruin the party and absolutely shatters Leon's spine. As I lay there, completely paralyzed and bleeding internally, I had no idea how I was going to get myself and Dum Dum out of this situation. It seemed all over, boys. The darkness was creeping in. Whoa! Oh, hell yeah! Ada coming to my rescue was enough to refill my lifeless corpse with purpose, so I grabbed Dum Dum and got the heck out of there. Final chapter, boys and girls. I was trying to prepare to take down old saddlebags, but my controller stroked out harder than I did fighting Larry. The worst possible time it could have stopped working. I know you can't see it that well just from the recording, but the game completely stopped responding to my controller. I reset the game and tried again. Luckily my controller wasn't broken, so I kept playing. The fight with Sadler is just as easy as any other boss fight with these weapons, so not much effort went into killing him. Oddly enough, killing him doesn't add to your kill count, I found out. Not sure why. Anyway, he eats a few rockets and old Saddlebags is dead.
You're dead, your friends are dead, your family's dead, your fucking pets are being skinned alive, your mom's a fucking whore, you suck at life, the whole world hates you, you're going to hell, live with it.
I give Dum Dum the silent treatment as we jet ski for our lives. She apparently already forgot all the hell she put me through because she asks for overtime when we get back home.
So, after you take me back to my place, how about we do some, overtime?
No thanks, bro.
Alright, that's the end. Nothing left to tell you. Thanks for watching, my dudes. Alright. I know what you're still waiting for. You want to know if I managed to kill over 1,000 enemies. Well, here you go. So if you recall, we finished chapter 4 with 761 kills. That means we needed at least 239 kills in all of chapter 5 in order for this to be a success. So in 5.1, I killed 81 soggy-brained boys, a whopping 105 more in chapter 5.2, the most of any chapter in the game, and 31 in chapter 5.3. That brought the total to 978. Since Sadler is the only enemy in the final chapter and killing him doesn't add to your score, I needed 22 kills in chapter 5.4 to complete the challenge. Now, chapter 5.4, as you just saw, is the military island chapter, meaning there are a buttload of enemies to kill. So, did I manage to kill enough? Well, guess what, boys? I got 90 friggin' kills! So our final overall kill count in this run is a whopping 1,068 kills. So I had finally found the one answer not even Socrates or Plato could achieve. Now to answer the question once and for all, can you kill over 1,000 enemies in a single run of Resident Evil 4? The answer is a big fat yes. How many can you kill? Well, in my case it's 1,068, but I can see it being possible to get a few more. I was pretty thorough, but I could see there being an area or two I missed rechecking. I could also see someone getting a few extra kills by being a bit more meticulous and aggressive in the village and cabin fights. Also, if the Knights and Ashley's chapter are possible to kill, that's 4 more there if you have that much patience. It's also been brought to my attention since I uploaded part 1 that the church bell in the graveyard can be used to spawn a few extra Ganados. A Reddit user by the name of Terminal Storm asked me if I used the church bell to spawn the extra Ganados or if I considered that cheating. But I was like, what the heck? I didn't even know you could do that. And specified that if it's programmed to do that, then it's fair game in my opinion. So thank you to Terminal Storm for the suggestion. I may update this video in the future and use that trick. But regardless of all these scenarios, this challenge is a success. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a lot of fun doing this. I know it wasn't really a challenge in the traditional sense, but like I said, I wanted to have fun on my first video just to get myself into it. I hope you enjoyed my first attempt at editing a gaming challenge. Hopefully it won't be cringe when I watch it back a month from now. But anyway, if you enjoyed, consider subscribing. Also let me know, did I miss any enemies? Did I get some info wrong? Be sure to leave a comment and complain about my incompetence. Also, I'll leave a list of games in the description that I'd like to attempt challenges for, so feel free to suggest ones I can do. But that's all for this episode. I'll see you goobs in the next one.